So that's just who I am. That's just who I've always been. And there was, like I said before, there was never any barrier in terms of color or even gender or, but not everybody is raised that way. So
I was lucky enough to be raised that way.
Yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with it. It's that separation, that artificial separation is created by people, going back to, the 40s and the 50s, no race mixing, don't listen to that jungle music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't smoke them jazz cigarettes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to be in the wrong part of town.
No, man. I think it's wonderful actually now that you got examples of there's another conversation I was having with a friend of mine that the word genre has come to encompass anything that's weird fiction, science fiction,
right.
fantasy, whatever.
Right.
But there's a lot of genre stuff that's opening people's eyes to the situation that people of color have been living in America forever. And that whole thing that's not the America I know. Well, that's because you've been walking around with blinders on.
Exactly.
But then when you see, that's somebody I know was talking about Lovecraft Country and they were like, wow, it's really bad in the South. I'm like, they're in Illinois. They're driving from Illinois to Massachusetts. They're not in the South. And
I know I saw quite a few people who were stunned after watching Watchmen and learning about the Tulsa race riots.
Yeah.
They destroyed an entire town. They bombed black people.
Yeah, the first
Black Wall Street. They wiped out an entire town.
Yeah, the first time aerial bombardment was used on American soil was by the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but a lot of that also, when you think about it, it's the reach of technology because. And I was watching. If you get a chance to, there's I don't know if you have HBO, but
yeah, I do now.
Yeah, there's a documentary on HBO that I watched this morning called Fake Famous, and it talks about basically creating social media influencers and how the whole thing is a lot of it is just BS. A lot of it is just straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they talked about towards the end of the documentary was how ever since the pandemic, especially, and I've seen this for myself, is that because everybody is home, because everybody is not distracted by work and school and everything else that would normally have distracted us, it made people more aware of other things that were going on in the world outside of their direct purview.
Yeah.
So, so now, we are in this technological society that's reaching across the world, and we're getting all of this content from everywhere. You go on Netflix, you're getting television shows from the Netherlands and from India being either dubbed or subbed into English, stuff that you would never have been exposed to.
Yeah. And otherwise. Hey, this podcast is I'm on the largest podcast platform in India, evidently.
Nice.
It's got 800 million listeners.
Very nice.
So,
that's exactly what I'm saying. So, you got that combination of reach, of content, of, lack of distraction, which seems to be the key.
Yeah, which was huge
in all of this. So people aren't distracted by everyday life. They have more time to watch things. They have more time to be plugged in to politics and the news and what's going on in the world. I'm a political junkie anyway. You know this
me,
about
yeah,
me.
You and me both, yeah. So,
but I think I probably watch more international news now because I have the time in the morning to turn on like France 24 and watch, the English language feed on Roku.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like I listen to the Daily Zeitgeist every day. That's my news show.
Right.
And it's great because it's being done by people who are, hilariously funny, but also really solid journalists. And they're not afraid to say the stuff that you're just not hearing on. I mean, as supposedly left wing as MSNBC is in any other country, they're middle of the road centrist,
right,
or right leaning centrist,
Right.
And it's just, it's a strange world, but it is nice that more people are being are becoming informed. And also that was the one comment I wanted to make, before we move on to something else, and want to know what you think of it though, is that this pandemic proved that all of these so-called leftist concepts are not only able to be done in the United States, but are absolutely beneficial.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Universal health care is absolutely beneficial. Getting rid of cash bail is beneficial.
Oh, no, absolutely.
A universal basic income. It saved the damn economy.
Yeah.
But no matter how much evidence you give of these positive things to the other side, they're not
part of it, and this is the issue that I usually run into in these conversations, is that I'm personally not against any of this stuff, but the pragmatist in me always thinks about how do we get there, because I know historically that these things are usually done in steps.
Yeah.
So you can get to universal health care if you do it the way that Canada did it, which was in our case, you go from state to state to state and tie all these individual healthcare systems together, where you still have private insurance if you want it, but you have state insurance that can be carried over from one state to another. So you don't have you have to put in some sort of price control. And
I break my leg in New Jersey and I'm not covered.
Right. Exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
You don't have that issue. Say you go to Germany, you don't have that issue. It's covered by the state. You go to the UK, it's the same thing. You go to France, it's the same thing.
And strangely, in Germany, they take their their fascist seditionists a little more seriously than we do in the United States. They've got a little bit of
history with that stuff.
I
think we're too far away from it.
Oh well, yeah,
No, I mean not recently, but
not recent. No, but I mean far away from it in the fact that the people that are still complaining about the Civil War are, it's like the ones who are like bitching about it, keep on telling us to forget about it.
Yeah, meanwhile, they're still teaching their kids about the War of Northern Aggression.
Yeah.
So
astounding. So let's go on to Poor Condition.
Okay.
Where we talk about something negative in the world of nerddom. And there were two recently there was a post on Twitter, which I will footnote if people want to follow it. I don't remember the guy's name, but you and I were joking around about it on Twitter, along with Kwanzaa Sujafo. And it was basically saying if you get all your anime knowledge from
stuff that's really popular, like
My Hero My Hero Academia. And the thing is I'm not really a big anime fan. I mean, I love a lot of the classics. I'm not a huge animation guy anymore. I mean, there's a couple of things that I watch, like Primal, which Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal's unbelievable.
Right.
But it's so ridiculous to say something like you're not a real fan because you don't have knowledge of obscure shit.
Have I told you how much I love the gatekeepers? Like how much they tickle my heart. They really do.
Yeah.
This guy is just, you saw this, but my response was basically like, this motherfucker better not even talk to me until he's seen Record of Lotus War. Like, do not come to me unless you've read My the Psychic Girl or Barefoot Gen or Crying Freeman.
Yeah.
Like, or X 1999. Like, you do not. Exactly. I have been literally been watching anime in some way, shape, or form since the late 70s.
Yeah.
Do not screw with me.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I mean, I loved it was called Battle of the Planets, of course, in New York, Science Ninja Team Gotchaman. And then later, Star Blazers, which was Space Battleship Yamamoto. Like, first time I saw Star Blazers, I was like, wow, this is like Star Trek, only so much cooler. It was the coolest space opera I ever saw. And the fact that we never got to see fucking Starship Troopers in the United States, the Japanese Starship Troopers animated series, kills me. Fucking kills me. Oh, it's unbelievable.
But going back to the whole gatekeeping thing, because you don't just see it like this is just like an example of it. We can make fun of it. It's fine, but unfortunately, it's very serious. And a lot of times it's directed at women and LGBTQ people, and it's used as a bludgeon against them. It's used as a way to exclude people, and it's wrong, and it's fucked up. And honestly, like, it's the same as Gamergate and Comicsgate and all this other bullshit where, a small amount of people decide that you don't have the right to play in their clubhouse. And that's basically what it is.
Yeah, I forget who said it, but somebody said a long time ago that the reason why, for the want of a better term, neckbeards don't want girls to be into the shit that they're into is because if girls are into the stuff that they're into and they're still not getting laid, it has nothing to do with the stuff they're into. It has to do with the fact that they're a fucking problematic individual.
You know what? I can't argue that point. I can't argue against that. And honestly, like, more often than not, when this sort of stuff comes up, it usually is a lot of it is, I think, it's stemming from their insecurity. I mean, I know with older fans.
I was that guy as a kid, man. I was such a fucking misogynist as a kid because I didn't know any better, and I wish I had learned the lesson long. I wish I'd realized it in high school. I wish I had.
Oh no,
then I wouldn't have had those issues.
No, I completely understand it, and but again, you're going back to high school, and
1986, 87.
Well, yeah, but
I had a fucking mullet.
You understand what I'm saying. Here's the thing: is a lot of times you'll find with older fans, especially, that a lot of their resistance to letting other people play in the club, for lack of a better term, comes from the fact that they were excluded, and this was their refuge. You get this whole. I've seen variations of this with gamers, with comic book fans. I worked at two different comic shops. I ran into these guys all the time. The idea that a woman could come into that space, whether it be physical or mental, was really upsetting to some of these people. I remember when I used to work at Jim Haley's Universe, and